Hi, I'm Rob Riggs with Conspirators, and you may have heard all the fuss about ChatGPT and artificial intelligence, and whether that's fear-based or excitement-based, all of these things. I think there is, with any new technology that comes on the scene, it's really exciting to think about, when it also can be scary to think about like what are the deeper impacts, longer term impacts. And so I've been playing with ChatGPT and a couple other tools for the past couple weeks as they've really become it's kind of more garnered more attention and notoriety. And so, just to step back for a second, ChatGPT and artificial intelligence in general is looking at content. It's ChatGPT, for example, has read, if you will, I'm doing the air quotes, read content that has taken place on the internet, up until. I think it's the past year or two, and in the future, I'm assuming that the intent will be that it's looking at real-time content, real-time data, and taking that into account. But for now, we're looking a year or two back. But all the way from what I imagine, and I don't have information to back this up at this point, but from the dawn of the internet, I don't know if it's looking back that far or back several years of content, but the ChatGPT and some of the other similar tools are chat-generated ways to insert a prompt or a query, ask a question, or ask a favor, a request. And then we get back in content form the answer to our request. So what I've been playing with over the past couple weeks is in a manner to better understand what opportunities there are to make our day-to-day more efficient. I'm working with how could our marketing team leverage some automation to help accomplish more for our clients by leveraging a tool like this. And so I've done a couple tests already, and but I'm highlighting here, as I think it's a really good example, highlighting a specific series of questions that I've asked based on the perspective of a web application development company. So just in case you're not familiar, Co-Conspirators is a digital marketing technology company, and so we do web applications. We build those. We build websites. We also build marketing campaigns to help drive targeted traffic to those web assets and web properties. And but so I've played with a series on like a digital marketing, create a content calendar for blog posts, social posts, and keywords, etc., for a digital marketing company. So what ideas would be relevant to somebody searching for the a digital marketing company? And the idea behind content, you've heard the phrase "content is king" by now, I'm sure. But the content is produced on web properties in a way to get search engine to crawl that content, to index that content, and then when somebody has a question that our content answers, then when they type in that keyword phrase, I'm looking for a web application company, web application development company, or a digital marketing company, then hopefully we've written content in a way that's going to bring our article or our content to that reader. And then the reader is going to hopefully click that link. Hopefully they're going to like what they see. Hopefully they're going to initiate a point of contact and become eventually a client at some point. And that's the the whole vein of search engine optimization and using artificial intelligence to generate content to meet those needs. So back to the point today. An example of a query in a conversation with ChatGPT, the artificial intelligence content generation engine. Here's an example of a question. So I started with, please create a content calendar for blog posts and social posts for a web application development company. And so here's the response that it gave back. And so it gave us 5 weeks, 1 post a week of, here's a blog post title, and it's saying this would be good to write about. It used last year. I won't fault it for that. That's probably when ChatGPT considers the current date of most recent content that's looking at. But that's fine. I'll give it a pass on that. And then here's our related social post. Staying up to date with the latest web development trends is essential for any business. Check out our blog to see our predictions for the top 10 trends. And then we probably link to the blog post. And then we've got week 2, it's covering other topics: responsive design, web application, web development framework, and then open source technology in web development. All really relevant topics that we might consider writing about. And then, as always, it's got a disclaimer. It's just sample content. Adjust per your requirements. And but I followed that up with this. So I've got these 5 topics, these 5 weeks of 1 blog post each, and the my next follow-up prompt was using NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, because we're going to want to write in such a way that's going to help somebody and potentially help somebody become a client in the future. So using NLP in a smart, easy to understand way, slightly witty tone, which those are the 3 ideals that we try to embody in our posts. Please write a 1,200 word blog post. I'll stop here. We did 1,200 words because we want a lot of content, long form content that is going to have enough content to be interesting to search engines and give enough context to a reader. But when I did more than 1,200, I started out 2,000, 1,500 words. Because ChatGPT is getting some attention, recently. It started fizzling out, dying toward the end, and so I've shortened to a point, 1,200 words, where it is, finishing the article or the content, the response. Generally most of the time. And then, so we're going to write that 1,200 word blog post, intriguing title, because it's very important for that title to be intriguing so that people will actually click to read more. Content summary. This is the summary of the content that shows up below in search results, shows up below that link, so people get an idea what the content is about before they decide whether or not they're going to click into that content to read more. And then a list of target keywords to draw good search engine traffic for the topic. So basically, I've made this, I've reworked this over a few searches over the past couple of weeks, and I found this to work pretty well. I do have some updates I'm making as we're continuing to test, but then I use that, so same prompt, but then I will change this topic to meet the topic that I want to get ideas, content ideas about. And I'm just pulling this directly from our content calendar blog post title that it gave me as a sample content calendar. So now it is, ChatGPT is giving me a title that is slightly more intriguing. Get ahead of the game, the top 10 web development trends to watch in 2023. I did correct that year from 22 to 23. Content summary, again, gives us a few sentences of what the article is about. Target keywords, it's giving me 10 as requested, 10 keywords that it thinks is going to help search engines and readers in the future find this content. And then we've got the body of the post. And so it's it's a great body. Got an intro here, and it lists 7 interesting aspects of the of marketing trends and that sort of thing. Things we want to be aware of. So some of those things are AI, how appropriate, machine learning, progressive web applications, voice and chat, motion UI, single page applications, and virtual AR and cyber. So all really relevant topics. So good stuff here. I would have at least included a summary. So if you have questions around any of these 7 blah blah blah. Click here to schedule a conversation, or something that wraps up, summarizes that content as a conclusion. But so that was a great first article. I think it's just kind of simple and basic, but they did a good job. And then I went down to the next topic. So this is coming from that second week, the importance of responsive design in web development. And so it gave us, again, a more intriguing title, Responsive Design, Why Your Website Needs It. It gave us the content summary, 10 keywords, and the body. Really good. So as I'm digging through here, Why Your Business Needs a Web Application, I'm looking for, and again, I'm not going to copy and paste this into our blog posts unedited or unrefined, but I wanted to show you kind of how we're looking at leveraging this to make our content team more efficient. We benefit from that, and also our clients benefit from that. As I'm looking through here real quick, I noticed we didn't end the sentence with a period, so this is something that we would catch in our review. But all this has probably come about because again, we get toward the 1,200 words, and the ChatGPT, because of the load of everybody using it, it just loses its steam, and who can blame it? It's serving a lot of people, currently. So this is why it's important, not just to copy and paste. It's important to look, to read, to understand, to edit, and refine to meet your specific purposes. But this chat session, it's generating content live, real time, that's totally unique, and I love that. We're seeing this. I love this too. I said use a intriguing title here, and I think it picked up on the F in frameworks and made a creative, as much as AI can be, framework frenzy, navigating the world of web development frameworks. I love it. Content summary, 10 keywords, body here. It's giving us some examples of frameworks. Love that. And in conclusion, and again, it kind of fizzled out at the end here, but that's fine. Again, intriguing title, Open Sesame, because it picked up on the word open source. So using a colloquialism, really fun here. And what I saw here, that last paragraph, we must have hit our either 1,200 words, or it got to the end and was just like, close enough. So I asked it to rewrite that last paragraph with the conclusion, in conclusion. So it did, and it finished that article in a way that wrapped up that, the blog post adequately. And so where we're going from here, it's kind of interesting. I wanted to show you, so our website is built in WordPress, and it's a fine content management system. There are a ton out there that we work with and that may serve you better, but we like WordPress because it's very extensible. We can make it do whatever we want. We can integrate it with other systems, other platforms, and to make it do what we want it to do. But I wanted to show you how I'm going about this test to show kind of where the data is flowing and how it looks on the front end when we've done this. So I'm grabbing this title and popping it into our post title here. Let's look next at content summary. So content summary is important because it clues in Google to what we're trying to communicate. So we've got depending on what plugins you're using, you may have different content modules in here, but we have this. So anywhere we're looking at content summary, we're tracking this in here. Excerpts, this is ubiquitous for WordPress generally. So we're going to add that content summary in here as well. And then we use Yoast SEO plugin because it helps us position the site well to be searched and ranked by search engines. I popped that into the meta description as well for the post. And then we will edit that description content in the different fields to make it most appropriate for that particular, how that field shows up on the front end. And then real quick, you'll see here we've got, I'll go through and make edits to the content, or our content team will once I've done with my, finished with my experiments. But we've gone through, make our edits, make it personalized to our specific needs, make sure we include any specifics around what we're trying to communicate with the article that the AI bot didn't exactly nail 100%. And then we'll use Grammarly to make sure it will, the AI is not perfect, or it might use a different, colloquial version of a word or a phrase that we want to change to meet our specific intent or specific audience. And then we'll go through and use Grammarly to make sure that we've hit exactly where we're trying to go, and that keeps the again the content from being too robotic. We don't want to be again, we don't want to copy and paste out of ChatGPT without really looking at the content to ensure that we have nailed our audience intent. So back up here, that was our content summary. Now we've got our target keywords, and so we've got 10 here that we can choose to look at. So it looks like I've already edited these a bit, but we can make sure that the things that we want. Let's see, are we on the right post? We are not. So I'm going to grab these, and just to show you kind of what I'm doing here. Let's see here. I want these comma separated, and I'm going to go through just like this real quick. The comma separation allows the tags in WordPress to add them as separate tags, and then make sure that they are attributed appropriately. Let's see here. Boop, there we go. And then cut that and go into open source frameworks. Well, we did already have this. Open source tag, web development, cost savings, flexibility. So let's add a few more. Let's see here, and let's make sure that we have all of those, and it's going to look for any duplicate phrases, and so some of these, I had already done this, but I'll just show you kind of how I did that to show you how we are leveraging that. The keywords for tags. And so, there's our keywords, and then our body. I'm going to copy and paste that in here, and remember that it didn't finish that last sentence, so I did go back into the body and copy and paste. I've edited to meet our specific intent with our audience, and then use Grammarly, and then we're ready to go. We've got that scheduled out for Happy Valentine's Day. Fantastic. So we'll click Edit. One last thing, we're also experimenting with, we love live photography, but as the team is remote and as we're trying to really leverage AI, we are playing with AI-generated photography as well, or art, if you will. And so it can get really creative with what we're doing. And there's a handful of different tools out there with different styles of creating art. And so, for example, with DALL-E, which is one of my favorites in terms of style, I can tell it use a surreal, create a surreal image, or use Impressionism as a style, or Van Gogh, or Warhol, or Picasso, depending on which direction I'm trying to go. This works really well for our specific brand because, as you can see, we're taken the campy art design direction. So our brand is Code Conspirators, and the mascot is Cody, and you can see him up here in the logo. And Cody, in his backstory, he used to be a spy, but he was a terrible spy because he kept giving all the secrets away. He was just trying to share all the secrets with everybody, and so he didn't last long in that position. But he works really well in our company because he's very transparent. He wants everybody to know, here's what it takes to have an effective marketing campaign so that your business can thrive, things like that. And so you can see as we scroll through here that the artwork is just really kind of campy spy theme, and we love it. And it is just a fun way to integrate art into our brand. And so let's look at our blog here so you can see kind of where we've been going with art. So again, DALL-E is one of my faves, just its style and the way it builds with the proper prompts. But there are a few others as well that may make sense for your organization if you're looking to use AI-generated imagery. Lexica here is we've used that. It's a more realistic. Let's pull up one of these images. It is more realistic, and but it's obvious that it is not like a stock photo, right? But it could just as well be if we uploaded an actual stock photo or a photograph of something that we had a photographer, take a snapshot of our team sitting around a table, and then uploaded that to artify that photo, if that's a word. It could just as well be that. So it's a pretty cool style. What we're doing or playing with is switching styles with different themes or different series in our blog posts, so that we'll alternate between legit photography of our team, or our in our office or whatever, or the Lexica art, or the Picasso style art, or the Van Gogh, or whatever it may be. This mage here, this is my second favorite. I really like this style of art, and we can see here in this prompt, impressionist image of a casual web developer creating software, and it gave us this. That's all. This is the prompt. I click go, and it gives us this. And it took me only 7, 8, 10, 12 tries before I got something that I liked this well. And then within those, those tries, I was changing the verbiage a bit to get a more representative image. So the first time I had left out the word casual, and it gave us a nice one that I liked, but the developer was wearing a tie and a jacket and looking at spreadsheets, and that was not exactly what we were going for, but this speaks to exactly kind of our personality, if you will, of what we're looking for. There's another one, xno.ai here, and this was cool. Surrealism here, but it was more cartoon that I wanted to use for this particular series. But what I just loved is AI generated art in the style of Van Gogh. So you see Van Gogh makes an appearance once in a while over here, or 3 times in here, and that's cool. What I had asked for was 3 web developers, men and women, and because it was initially giving us, when I was not including specific diverse traits or gender, it was just giving us a bunch of white guys sitting around a computer screen, and that's not who we are or what we're trying to represent. We have our team is very diverse. We actually are majority women on our team, which is something to be proud of. We have team members from diverse backgrounds and areas that we want to highlight or represent. That's important to us. But I had used this men and women in a high-tech office high-tech office art style of Van Gogh's Starry Night, and it didn't really understand high-tech office. It gave us a man and a woman. They might be web developers, but they're standing in front of the Starry Night background. That's not exactly what we were trying to accomplish. And then these guys, this was too real, but the faces were just a little bit not 100% there. So we didn't end up using them. But really cool tool if you can get the prompts right. And so that we use those images throughout several blog posts as an example, again, of what AI generated content can be when we use it as inspiration or idea generation, and then the generated imagery. And so we have several in here that are suited to a particular series, and they're these other. So now we're back to just kind of photography from either our team, artwork from our team, or stock photos, depending on what the topic is. And so as we go through here, basically to summarize, I've been really impressed with what AI can do for marketing, messaging, for content generation, for inspiration of what should we be writing about. I can't wait to see where this is going down the road, and I want to continue experimenting for the benefit of our team to see how can we produce the best result for our clients with the most efficient use of time, so that we can be very cost friendly for our clients. If you have hints, tips, tricks, or questions, I'd love to engage and see how you're using ChatGPT or other AI in your marketing, messaging, or in your just general business. Look forward to hearing from you.